Are you overwhelmed with the speed of technology and AI? Do you not know where to start and what to ignore? I'm just kidding. Kind of started to sound like an infomercial. No, but hello and welcome back to the Impossible Entrepreneur podcast. I'm Architect Anna and I'm an entrepreneur on a mission to do the impossible. And this episode is about keeping up with AI. Thought that was like a little funny intro. So, yes, if you are struggling to keep up with AI because it's so overwhelming and there's updates happening all the time, same. And I work in this space. Same. I teach in this space. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. We all are. It's crazy. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you guys a few ways about how you can keep up with AI, how I've tried to keep up with AI, how sometimes I even feel very overwhelmed and behind, and that it's okay. Everyone is doing their best. You are doing your best. And even if you haven't gotten started with AI and you're like, it's crazy, I don't even know where to begin, it's all right. And I'm going to also tell you how to do that. Spoiler alert, it all starts with curiosity. So if you're already curious, you're listening to this and you're like, I just want to get started, that's cool. Get ready to dip a toe. So let's do this. Ignore that first bit about the commercial. I just thought that would be silly. Okay, so there's a few like very, very simple ways that you can keep up with AI. You can sign up for a newsletter. There's lots of different newsletters out there. I haven't started one yet, so I'm not trying to advertise mine, but there's lots of cool AI newsletters out there. Have a look, give it a Google, go into a chat bot and ask it for some newsletters that match maybe your industry and your interests around AI. And they might be able to give you some more tailored ones rather than like a generic overview of what's going on. Some of them, they focus on like the financial side. Some of them are very, very techy. So it really depends on your area of interest and your background, what you're trying to achieve. So newsletters are a fantastic way to do that. I follow a lot of newsletters and I have them automated to go straight into a folder and then kind of get reviewed all at once with another AI system that pulls out like the best stuff for me. So there's lots of different ways to do it. I also like to just like skim them just to see what's relevant. A lot of the work that I do as an AI trainer, training like tool agnostic, industry agnostic, meaning I'm training dozens of different types of industries across multiple different AI tools and systems, means that I kind of act as a filter for all of the noise out there about what actually matters for people, especially the people that I'm talking to, which are generally like non-techie, early stage users. Sometimes they're like really enthusiastic. They just need like a little bit of direction, a little bit of support. So newsletters are a great place to start. And of course, you can read them yourself. You can have an AI go through them if you need to like get a summary generated for you. If you don't know how to do that, go into a chatbot and ask it to help you with your tools tech stack and it will figure out a way. So that's an option for you. Newsletters are super solid. This might be another level. There's also a lot of tech AI WhatsApp groups. This might be outside of your network. Like you might not have anyone in your network that like has access to any of these groups working. So network with people, be like, hey, do you have any cool like tech WhatsApp groups or AI WhatsApp groups I can join? Go into there and do that. I'm a part of a few. Like there's one that I'm a part of that is crazy. It's about OpenClaw, which is an experimental agent. And I mean, yeah, it's got some security risks, but it's super interesting. And one of the things that I'm going to be working on doing is gathering the information from that chat and then pulling together a series of like best practices, what to get started with, biggest risks, use cases and ideas. And by reading it, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's fantastic, that's fantastic. But actually creating it as like a system that I can then potentially share with other people would be really useful. And then also in my own journey, like the best thing is obviously trying to test and learn things yourself. But if other people have already tested it and learned it, see if you can get the knowledge from them too. So yeah, newsletters, WhatsApp groups if you can get access to them. If not, like try networking, go to some like tech events, they'll probably be there. They'll probably have WhatsApp groups on their phone. Honestly, I've got too many. My phone storage is filling up just with like all the stuff happening in the WhatsApp messages. So I would say turn off notifications for those. They can be a lot. Testing the tools, like I said, if you can test things yourself, that would definitely be the next level about how to stay on top of things rather than like reading a very short newsletter or trying to keep up with a WhatsApp chat, actually testing out the tools. Like most of them have a free trial. Just give it a go, play around, click on some buttons, see if you think it's cool. In a lot of the demos I do, like these tools have been around for years now, years. And I'll do them and people are like, oh my God, I've never seen that before. And so it's really nice as part of my job that I get to like blow people's mind on a regular basis. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes it's just like something simple, like generating an image, pulling together concepts that don't necessarily make sense. I mean, I think that's the cool thing about generative AI is that it pulls together concepts that don't necessarily make sense together. So if you're very creative, you can actually do that. Not everyone can necessarily like see the vision, right? So I once was talking to someone and they ran a dog food company, like a good one, like it supplied food to the royal family dogs in England. And the person who's actually running it, she really wanted to be an interior designer, but like it was a family business. And I was like, well, there's probably going to be a way to combine those. Of course, I could have gone into a chatbot and been like, hey, how do you combine a dog food company and interior design? But I was like, I'm an architect. So I was like, oh, well, you could create cool, like high-end interior design spaces for dogs. Like there's people that design entire rooms just for their dog or like little tree houses or outdoor sheds just for their dog with like benches and like hidden passageways and things. I was like, you already have like a high-end market. I think that'd be awesome if you're okay doing interior design spaces for dogs. I was like, then it like you could literally have that as like a completely separate segment of your business, bringing in more revenue, um, creating more, hype and marketing opportunities. So I was like, it could feed your interests, it could feed your business. If it can do both things at once, amazing. They don't need to be separate. You don't need to have like a lifelong dream just disappear because you're doing something else. How can you potentially like merge them together? And if you're asking that question for yourself, like you're like currently doing this, but I really want to be doing this. Is there any way that you can be doing that while you're doing this at the same time? And you're like, I don't know. Cool. Ask a chatbot. Like I said, generative AI pulling together concepts that don't necessarily make sense together or that you can't see the connection yet. It will try to find a connection. So I've done this with people in architecture who were like, I really want to start my own business. I want it to be profitable. What should I do? And I was like, well, what are your other interests? Do you like sports? Do you like art? Do you like theater? Because I was like, then you should do architecture specifically in that niche. Because then you're feeding your passion. You're also going to be able to have more targeted marketing opportunities. Go with it. It does not need to be one or the other. So, testing tools is great. Understanding that generative AI can do lots of really interesting things is a good starting point. But yeah, when I'm talking about image generation, I'll just do this in my demos. Anyone who is like an AI trainer, you do this too. So I'll just go into like an image generator. I'll usually do like ideogram, although a lot of the chatbots, you can generate images pretty well in those now too. But this one's good because you can also look at an entire gallery of other images. So if you need a little bit of guidance on like your image prompting, Ideogram is free, and you can look at the other images in the gallery from like the photography section, portraits, logos, marketing, and then see what other people are prompting to give you some inspiration for prompting whatever you might be testing out. But what I'll do is super simple. I'll just be like, okay, everyone in the room or whatever online, pick a color. And they'll be like, blue. And so a blue. And then I'll be like, pick an animal. And they'll be like, oh, good. I'm like, great. Blue dog. Okay. And then I'm like, is it sitting, standing, running, jumping, climbing, flying? What's it doing? They're like, it's flying. And I'm like, okay, a blue dog flying. I was like, where is it flying? What's it flying over? Give me some details. Give me some context. Any of you guys prompt engineering out there? Always add in the context. Context is key. And they'll be like, it's flying over a city or it's flying over the moon. I'm like, okay, great. A blue dog is flying over the moon. And I'm like, what's around it? What's happening? I was like, are the shooting stars? Is there popcorn falling from the sky? Is there stuff on the moon? Are there spaceships? Give me some details. And they'll be like, okay, listen out some crazy stuff. So add in a bunch more details. If it's not on the moon, I'll just be like, what time of day is it? I'll be like, sunrise, sunset, what's happening? All of these things. And then I'll just be like, cool, generate. And they'll be like, oh yeah, look at all the generated options. And of course, it makes weird, glitchy mistakes, but then people can see, oh, right, okay, it can pull together these concepts. So from a business perspective, I say if you're testing out ideas, rather than this being like your final option, I'm actually going to do an episode on AI and intellectual property and copyright because this comes up so often. But if you are going to be doing something and you have like a vision in mind, and also this can be like whatever level of the business you're in. If you're like an executive and you've got tons of ideas, but you have to go to your creative team to get approval, and then it goes back and forth for like 3 weeks and it's really slow. If you've got an idea, you can quickly if you can describe it clearly, you can generate it and then you can send it to your team to recreate properly. Or if you're getting ready for a big photo shoot, if you're a product-based business, you can test out all the different angles and lighting and props and things that you want so that when you get to your photo shoot with a fantastic human photographer, shout out to the photographers out there, then what you could do is you can just be like, cool, here's everything. This is what I want exactly. Great. Save everyone some time, energy, and money so like it's not wasted because you're like, nope, that's my vision, rather than having people be like unhappy. So I think it's great for like that initial storyboarding phase. Or if like, yes, you are a solo entrepreneur, you're scrappy, you're bootstrapping, you're doing a side hustle, do what you can. Use whatever resources you can to your disposal, right? Okay, great. um, so yes, testing out tools I think is fantastic because I mean you don't know what you don't know. So of course, if you were to ever come into one of my sessions, you'd be like, wow, the art of the possible. There's so many things. But otherwise, you've got access to them. Go look them up. Some cool ones that I like to do demos in are, yes, like Ideogram, 11 Labs for audio. I'll do Suno for music. I will do Synthesia for like avatars. I'll show my AI clone in HeyGen. I'll show some agentic systems in like GenSpark. I'll do a little bit of Google Notebook LM to show their like podcast, video, infographic, flashcard quizzes features. Google Notebook LM is awesome. Um, I'll do Napkin AI for people who need to create diagrams. This is usually like a winner for businesses. They're like, oh, I can create a diagram to go with my PowerPoint. Amazing. And then, of course, there's like Gamma or Beautiful AI if you're needing to create slides, right? If you need to just like create a quick slide deck for something, that can take hours or in some cases days. So if you can get that done quickly, it's like, what's more important, the visual aspect of the slides, if it's for an internal briefing, or the actual content and the data for it and the way that you present it? Option number two. So if you can do the slides quickly, amazing. So again, AI is not there to like take away your brain or your creativity from the process. It is there to take away the repetitive, maybe time consuming, maybe things that do not require a lot of your intelligence, creativity, or experience. That's what it's there for. Simple example that I also show is in AI image editing. What I do is I explain that when I worked in architecture, one of the things that I had to do when designing buildings was actually go into Google, find a person, download them, put them into Photoshop, zoom in, click around them, and then remove the background. And now, of course, there's an background remover tool, just like boop, it'll remove the entire background. And it will literally take, I don't know, 5 seconds instead of what would have taken me maybe 20 minutes. And no, that does not require my intelligence or creativity to be able to zoom into something and click around it just to remove the background, just to put it in front of my building. So I would have been able to get that time back to design my building better, to work on my presentation more, to do the strategy behind the design, to actually look and look some extra features, right? So it's kind of like looking at those areas of your work and then potentially how you can get those gains back in your life, in your job. So yeah, I think starting with curiosity, just testing out tools is a fantastic way to stay on top of AI. Of course, there's like tons and tons of free resources out there, which honestly, in some ways makes it worse because that can make it more overwhelming. You're like, there's everything. And everyone is saying that this thing is the game changer and this is the tool that you need. When really, a lot of it is just like a lot of noise and a lot of hype. For the most part, if you can be good at instructing and prompting a chatbot to help you with your tasks, and you can build some basic AI assistants like a custom GPT or a Gemini Gem or a Claude project or a Copilot agent, if you're in the Copilot Studios or 365, then cool. That's going to be plenty for most people. You do not need complex automations. You probably do not need AI agents for the systems that you're building, unless you're trying to be like a one-woman show or a one-man show where you're building like a whole huge business just by yourself. You don't need to do that, okay? So most things, very hypey. And I would say if you are someone who feels like very overwhelmed with it all, the best thing to do is focus on your goals. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it you want to do to make your life better, your work better? And then just only choose AI tools that immediately and directly benefit you and your goals. Ignore everything else. If you're overwhelmed, it's like, there's so many. You probably only need like one, two, maybe three tools for the work that you're doing. And then just like ignore it. It's out there, and if you need it, it will be there. But unless you are someone who needs to stay on top of all this stuff, like, it's okay. I get that it's crazy, but there's still plenty of like productivity, efficiency, creativity, strategy gains that you can get from just a chatbot. So if you can start there, you're going to be great. Okay, so newsletters, WhatsApp groups, testing it yourself, and of course, just asking questions to a chatbot, asking questions to other humans, going to talk to people, networking, and just lead with curiosity. If you're just getting started, lead with curiosity. See what it does, see if it can help you. And I am very much Um, like I very much speak to people who are ambitious. If you're ambitious, you have a goal. You want to achieve something, you want to change your life in some way. That's very easy for me to understand and also very easy for me to help in an AI perspective. Because if you have a goal, then you can put that into AI and you can work backwards about how you achieve that goal and it can guide you through the entire process and you can bounce ideas. You can plan out strategies. You can pressure test those strategies to make sure they're actually going to be functional. You can have it do research for you. You can plan out timelines. There's literally so many ways that you can do it to absolutely change your life. And if you're like, oh, I'm not sure that you can actually do that. I literally did that in 12 months. I literally did it in 12 months and I tracked the entire process in the first season of this podcast. 300 episodes, 22 episodes a month, just tracking all the things that were going wrong in my life, all the things I was testing, all the things that I was doing. So, yes, it is absolutely possible. And a lot of it literally was me having conversations with chatbots. Yes, I was able to converse with people in some cases and get advice from them, but a lot of the strategy and a lot of the judgment and critical thinking on my side was just having these discussions with chatbots and testing things and trying things. So, a couple basic ways for you guys to get started. Simple way, newsletter. Slightly more advanced, if you have people that are in WhatsApp groups, get that. Um, Test the tools yourself. Dip a toe, have some fun, be curious, ask questions, always great. Another way that I did this, again, because there's so much free content on the internet, so many things. Yes, if you can choose something that just benefits your direct goal, like if you're a Copilot user, just watch some YouTube videos on Copilot, right? Like ignore the rest of the stuff. If you can't use it, ignore it for now. Just like get confident with one thing and then build up from there. One thing that I did was I was on medical leave recovering from surgery, and I was starting to feel like super behind. And I mean, there was tools that had come out earlier in 2026, but I was like knee deep in learning a different set of AI systems, and so I felt like I got behind on those. I'm talking like 3 months behind is basically like feels like years behind. So I started to kind of panic. I was like, I'm a medical leave. I should be focusing on recovery. But no, I was like, oh my God, the AI world's crazy. So I wanted to make this episode because if I'm feeling it, there's a chance that other people are feeling it too. No, it does come up a lot in my trainings as well. So one thing I did was a couple like successful companies were doing some AI conferences, AI challenges. Of course, it's a way for them to make money and sell their own software. I knew that going in. And also, that's great. If you can attend those conferences, knowing that they're doing that, and then watching their marketing sales strategies for your own personal business benefit, really valuable lessons. So rather than be annoyed that they're selling to you, what can you learn from them? Because they're clearly successful. So, like, what can you learn, right? Success leaves clues. Watch for them. So I did 8 days in a row of these. It was like 2 to 3 hours a day virtually. And I was watching these conferences and they were all in the US. So I was watching them in the evening in England, laid up in bed because my knee. And yeah, I was just like trying to make sure I wasn't missing anything. I wasn't behind on anything. If they were explaining things in like a slightly different way that I thought would be good for like a non-technical audience, I was taking notes of that. So, yeah, staying on top of things is sometimes just committing to putting in some time and some effort. So, that's another way. If you see some cool events on like Eventbrite or see some things on like LinkedIn, or you get an ad coming up for like a summit that's free, check it out, see what you learn. Just know in a lot of cases, of course, they're going to try to sell you something. But if you're a business owner or you're thinking about ever starting a business, see how that you could actually learn from that rather than be annoyed about it. So yeah, that was really cool. Um, and I honestly I wasn't really like missing anything. I just had some like I just felt like a surge, which was great, like of energy. Which is good. If you're on medical leave, it's hard to feel like a lot of energy sometimes because your energy is going to healing. But it felt good to like listen to other people doing it and talking about this. So yeah, I felt this more in the last month than I had in probably over a year. This overwhelm, like I'm behind feeling. And I do get other AI trainers reach out to me and ask this kind of question. One of the things that I used to do for over a year was a weekly live session where I would be sharing news updates. I'd be sharing like tool demo updates, which meant that every week I had to be on top of the news, understanding what was relevant for these people, filtering out all that noise, and then also like prepping demos in advance of this live session. So I was very much on top of all of that. And then I went on medical leave. And of course, like that stopped. So I felt like instantly really, really behind. So if you really, really, really want to stay on top of things, not just like scratch the surface and kind of be like, I feel like I'm aware and that's good enough for me, but you really, really want to stay on top of things, the best way, hands down, best way to learn is to teach. So I would say be the person that shares the information with other people, whether in like that's in a professional perspective or in a personal one. If you're the person that is like on top of things that you know people around you are going to come and ask questions, then and you know that you need to be able to explain them well, then cool. If you want to do like even just like a weekly live stream, could be cool where you're just answering people's questions. Of course, if they're coming off the internet randomly, you might just get a bunch of random hate comments. But usually, as live streamers, you can get moderators and people coming in to kick people out if they're not being friendly or if they make unnecessary threats. um, but yeah, if you can like start a community group or even just be the person that people go to share knowledge, it could be that you are the person in a specific industry. I know people who are very much like industry specific trainers and they will, only do it for like public relations or for media or for legal or for finance. And so they're filtering from that lens. I'm filtering from a very like generalist perspective. So if you're that person, you're sharing that knowledge, of course, you're going to like have that pressure to stay on top of things. But hopefully that pressure is a good thing, not a bad thing. I mean, diamonds are built under pressure. So really that pressure can mold you into something beautiful and amazing. So that's just like another thing that I wanted to mention. Just going through my notes, making sure I'm not missing anything. I feel like we're yeah, good. I don't want this episode to be too long. Um, but yeah, at the moment, if AI cannot do the thing that you want or need it to do, just like give it 6 weeks. Like give it 6 weeks, maybe it'll be able to do it then. The companies are like really trying to stay competitive and they're trying to listen to user feedback. And if they're not, like they're gonna poof out of existence. So give it 6 weeks. And like honestly, we have no idea where these things will be in 6 months. Like one of the decisions I made was the platform that I'm filming this on, which is Riverside. So another tool that I use. And it's amazing. I'm able to plug in my camera and my microphone directly into my laptop, which I was not able to do before. And I'm able to record it. It also has a bunch of AI settings to like boost the audio and a bunch of extra features and things. I try and keep this as like an unedited podcast. So I trim the front and the end, I boost the audio, and that's it. I don't touch it. I just ramble for like 15 to 30 minutes and I go. And Riverside also has this like short form feature where it will take the long form video and cut it up into shorts for social media. And I was like, fantastic, I need that. But it didn't quite have the scheduling function for all of the different tools that I needed in the way that I needed it, as well as the amount of short form. So for some people, this would be like your standalone tool for all social media. But for me, I also use something at the moment because it changes all the time. AI changes, got to stay on top of it, called Opus Clips. And that one, I take my long form video of this podcast, drop it in there, and I'm testing out some prompts to try to get the shorts to be, uh, more specific to what I am trying to put out so that there's less video editing on my side because video editing is like my biggest energy drain. I don't like it. And I do a lot less of it now because of my new system and because I'm like optimizing my use of AI tools. And then I schedule everything and it will draft out the descriptions for each of the different platforms I post on. And then I can, edit them and go ahead and schedule it that way. So it does save a lot of time. And ideally, one day they would be in one platform and not just those two tools. It would be amazing if you could have your entire like marketing, social media content system, which I also consider like a trust and authority building engine. If you could have all of that in one system, as well as your like AI chief of staff with all of your business context and memory and your AI assistants and how that's like working towards your sales and your lead magnets and all of those things all in one place, I think that'd be fantastic. We're not quite there yet. I know there's some tools that have like batches of these things, but eventually I think sure that will happen. I don't think I'll be the one to build it, but when it happens, it'll be great. Who knows? Maybe if I get really good at AI agents, I'll be like, I'm going to pull it together for all of those solo 7-figure entrepreneurs out there trying to build something from scratch up to 1 million. This is the platform for them. But for now, it doesn't exist. But again, hey, give it like 6 months. But yeah, when you're thinking about business ideas, it's always better to start simple. I'm great at the complex. It's hard to actually start simple. I have a book behind me somewhere, which is about, yeah, insanely simple. There you go. And it's just about having like trying to like simplify your ideas down so that they are less complex. It's about Apple. Anyways, okay. So yeah, who knows where we'll be in 6 months? And I've said this all the time, but like where we are now today is the worst that AI will ever be. Will only get better. So it can be overwhelming to try and stay on top of these things, but you're doing a great job. Take a deep breath. Focus on what's important to you. Focus on like one, two, three tools that might be useful and directly benefit you. And then like try and block out the rest. A lot of it's noise, to be honest. Like build out your foundational skills, understand prompt engineering, understand how to speak to these tools, understand the risks and limitations, the bias, the hallucinations, how to reduce them, how to use these tools responsibly from a privacy security perspective, how to build out like workflows and systems like AI assistants, and then maybe you can do some of the more advanced stuff later. Start simple, work your way up, and it's gonna be great. Okay, cool. So in the next episode, we're gonna be talking about hacking your business's success. So if you're a business owner and you're like, I wanna do things, I wanna make it happen, we're gonna break that down in the next episode. Talk about like hackathons, internal expertise, how to like draw out that creativity from your teams. So like both the soft skills as well as some of the tech skills. And then also I'm going to talk through just on a little bit more of the techie side, depending on which tech stack you're using, what some of your options are, because there's tons of options out there. Okay, cool. I'll see you in the next episode, and I hope you have a great day.